People also, I think there's also
He
the
was
Venom
hungry.
thing in the leak, and people were saying that the Venom was 2025. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But I also just don't.
2026 is what it's saying on here.
I also don't know if I believe that Venom thing exists still.
See, that's interesting. Let's jump off that because Jakey P writes in, says, I think it's a slam dunk prediction that Spider-Man 2 DLC will be announced at Summer Game Fest. Both Burning Shores and Valhalla DLCs were announced at Keighley events. I do think it's interesting if you take out the idea of like DLC being the city that never sleeps type thing and thinking instead a Miles Morales or a Venom. That could be interesting. I don't expect it. I definitely don't expect it. And I think that is not an 8 out of a 10. That is like
that's
bigger
you're
than that.
confident. If when somebody asks you about your score and like how should we be hyped and stuff, you tease a bit that like we got something really nice here.
So because of that, I don't think we get any Insomniac stuff. But I do think we're going to get some Spider-Man project, whether it's Venom or just more Spidey in some sense, in the next 2 years.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I could see there being Spider-Man 2 DLC here. Like, I think there's some stuff, like some threads coming off of Spider-Man 2. Barrett's giving me the face. Spider-Man 2 that we didn't get closure on. Of course, maybe you hold that stuff for Spider-Man 3, but I could see you turning that into DLC.
Yeah.
Do we forget what happened with the City that Never Sleeps? Like,
Nobody cared.
nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
I think they learned that lesson, and that's why, Miles Morales was its own game.
I agree with that, but I also think one of the problems with City That Never Sleeps is that it was episodic. And they I remember playing the first chapter, being like, and then I just never
And
showed
also
up for
the
the other
story
two.
wasn't that interesting or good.
Yeah, but like if the story, it's hard to talk about without spoiling Spider-Man 2. But if the story featured a major Spider-Man villain, that might have been.
I feel like that's Venom, right? Like I feel like that. Like,
that could be
Venom. I feel like could be tied to that so directly and easily. So that's kind of and like here, Burning Shores and Valhalla, like they're both DLC, but in completely different ways. So I just feel like I expect whatever Insomniac's next quote unquote DLC. I don't think it's going to be an episodic thing. I think it's going to be one product that has more polish and value than what we would have traditionally thought of as Insomniac DLC.
I hear you. I just don't. I feel like Spider-Man, especially with the introduction of Wolverine, I think now you have that baton where Wolverine drops in 2026, right? You're then thinking that would have been a Miles Morales space, right? But you don't need it anymore because now you have Wolverine, and so you can kind of pass it between those franchises or expand on them, like the leak suggested or did whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I don't see any Spider-Man stuff here. I think your best bet for DLC here is Helldivers 2. I think we talked about this leading into State of Play, right? That there was the event happening inside of Helldivers where we were trying to eliminate the Terminids, right? We did it. Now there's a big old black hole where the bug planet was. The idea would be that would introduce the third faction, right? The guys from the first game, right? So I feel like you could do that as a really fun part of SGF.
You don't see this as like DLC though, right? It's more of just like a big update kind of.
Yeah, exactly. But you put a war bond with it. Maybe even you do. Oh my God, the Illuminids are here, whatever, or Illuminites, or whatever, however you pronounce it, are coming through, and they're here, and they're available today, and we need to go fight them, and maybe tease the expansion that whatever your big thing they're working on eventually for that is.
Greg, did you ever finish Rise of the Ronin?
No, I never did. Got sidetracked with the reviews.
Would Rise of the Ronin DLC make sense, do you think?
Oh, I never finished it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Here's more shit to go do over here and kill. Like,
assuming the world doesn't end at the end of Rise of the Ronin, I think maybe that could be the answer.
Was the only thing that Wolong got the Lies of P sort of tie-in collaboration? I could see a collaboration thing, but I don't know if you ever get like a large thing for Rise of the Ronin. I feel like Team Ninja is so set on just put out the next one that they're already working on the next sort of Souls-like combat thing.
Like annual, that studio.
Yeah. I got a feeling they're just kind of working on the next thing.
Do we see Lego Horizon?
No.
I'm saying yeah.
Mike said yes earlier.
Yeah.
Yes. I wanted to see a Lego sports game, but yeah,
right.
Lego Horizon would be sick. I mean, why not? You know what I mean? That's two great properties to showcase at Jeff's place. Would be really, really dope for sure.
Plus, you're saying yes. You sound pretty confident in this.
I put myself like a 7 out of 10 confidence, but like I could see it. I could see them holding that from a State of Play and going, actually, let's show this at Jeff's thing. We want to go for like the wider appeal. I feel like State of Play is still treated as a thing of, hey, this is for like the PlayStation audience. This is more focused on the fan base, especially it not being a PlayStation showcase. I think a Jeff Keighley showcase puts it on more of a main stage. And then like if they do a day, what's it called? State of, what's the Days Play thing? The
Play Days.
Summer Game Fest Play Days.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe you can have it playable there, right? Maybe you can sell it to people in that way.
I thought it was The first time we heard about this, it sounded like it was more just something that they were super into. I didn't realize that it was something that may have been worked on already for several years.
I can look it up.
Those initial sort of stories of Hermen Hulst talking about it seemed like he was like, yeah, we're stoked about this. We're going to be working on this project. It didn't really, to me, seem like, hey, this thing got leaked and they've been working on this thing for 2.5, 3 years or whatever.
It felt early, yeah.
Moving on.
All less can find is the tall neck Lego.
The last PlayStation thing. How much Concord do we see?
This episode of Kinda Funny is brought to you by Punkle, the developers behind Vampire Survivors. Did you know that Vampire Survivors is out on just about everything? That's right, you can play it this very second on PC, Xbox, Switch, and mobile. And if that wasn't enough, it's coming to PlayStation this summer with a Platinum Trophy, and I just so happen to be stoked. Why? Because it's awesome! Vampire Survivors is a gothic horror casual game with roguelike elements where your choices can allow you to quickly snowball against the hundreds of monsters that get thrown at you. Mow down thousands of night creatures and survive until dawn. Pick your character, spend your gold on power-ups, and get to being the bullet hell in the game that features absolutely zero vampires. Punkle even just released the new DLC Operation Guns featuring the classic and timeless Konami IP, Contra. We've been talking about this game for years, so there's no reason not to support it now. It's as affordable as a cup of coffee. Get Vampire Survivors on your platform of choice this very second, and thank Punkle for sponsoring Kinda Funny.
I think whatever they have to show of it, we won't see it again until this rumored showcase that I'm rumoring myself in the fall.
Wow.
Oh, wow,
Showcase that
really?
isn't confirmed, but
See,
I'm like,
again, this
Doesn't
is...
it come out?
Yeah, the game comes out in like
Very soon.
September.
And you got a
we're
beta,
gonna
and
beta
you
in
figure
July.
the day before they launched the pre-orders for this. So in the same way, Astra doing the same day is one thing.
I said what I said.
This would be a great chance to come back and answer some of the criticisms, right? Of like, not like we've seen people bitching, but like we're gonna run you through our new game mode. Like, right, we're doing this. We've seen the characters, you've seen a whole bunch of hype footage. Now let's go through point A to point B.
That's
think
the
they have
correct
to.
thing. It's right. Yeah, here's 3 characters. Here's their movesets. This is what they do. This is how they impact the battle. Hey, this is a cool game mode that we created. We already saw them showcase the little blue robot of like, hey, clearly that's like Oddball in Halo where you grab the blue robot, hold it for as long as you want. Maybe they showcase that. If I was a betting man, you see 0 Concord. We do not see Concord until it's beta time, and then we start to revive this. But as of right now, I say we've seen enough of this. Don't show anymore.
A lot of haters out there. I'm stoked with this game.
I'm with you, Andy. I'm stoked for this game too.
I'm really excited
And
about it.
I think the devs come out on stage. I think this is one of those ones where, again, in recent PlayStation showings at Summer Game Fest, you've seen the devs come out. You've seen them talk about things. I think you have Concord devs come through. I think, you show off one of the modes. I think you show off some of the characters. I think this is the kind of game that, as PlayStation, you don't treat it like a God of War or like a single player thing where it is, all right, here's one trailer. All right, we'll see you when we're way closer. I think this is a thing. This is a game that you shove in people's faces up until launch.
I wouldn't be surprised, right, if you have a state of play dedicated to Concord before launch.
Yeah.
Hey, here it is. We're doing 20 minutes on it. We're going to run you through characters, their classes, their abilities, the modes, the matches, the things.
You have like a 2.5 month marketing period for this game, right? Because like this game comes out
August.
September 6th, or is it
Is that
August?
what it is? I can't remember.
I always mix it up with Astrobot. It's one of those.
Astrobot is September.
Okay, then this
Concord
is
is
coming out
August
late
23rd.
August. So you have like 2 months.
Yeah.
You got to shove this in people's faces.
Megan Arid in the chat
bad we're
said
playing college
that
football.
they think that we see it here and that it should be playable at Playdays so that like the press can actually play it and have the conversation be there.
I agree
I
with
feel
that.
like that would be
That'd
best
be a
case
slam
scenario
dunk.
for this game because I'm even thinking about like Foam Stars.
That was
last
like,
year.
I was going to say, that's Foam Stars for me last year, right? It's like, we saw it, we were like, yeah, I don't know about that. And then I came back and said, hey, we had a really good time and I enjoyed this, right? Like, that's where you would prove it right there for sure.
I would lose my shit for a Final Fantasy 16 PC.
We'll get there.
Port.
We'll get there in a sec.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a little square section. But sticking with PC ports, though, Last of Us 2. Do we see it?
Not on PC already?
No.
Huh.
The Last of Us 1 remake was
Yeah.
on PC
There's so many.
several months
Like
ago.
Last of Us has come out so many times. It's hard to keep track at this point.
I think we do. Yeah, I'll say, fuck it.
That's the type of thing where PlayStation's going to be there. I can see them. Like, they got to announce it at some point.
Yeah.
It's going
You
to
gave your
happen.
beat to Ragnarok already, right? Now at the state of play.
Yeah.
Getting
Now you
pre-
can come out here. Jeff has a history with Naughty Dog. Go for it.
Getting prepped for the HBO show. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I can see it here for sure. Moving on to Kojima Productions. Will Death Stranding 2 be there?
Yes.
Will we get a Death Stranding 2 release date?
No.
I'm saying no and no.
You don't think it'll be there?
Oh, they were just at the Game Awards, right? With that
Yeah.
big old trailer.
Do you want to go back and look at how many Death Stranding 1 trailers there were?
I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, that's a good point.
And how many were at Jeff shows?
But like,
That was the big 9-minute one, though, right?
yeah, that was like the big one. I feel like, how long is Kojima in the editing booth for?
I mean, he lives there if he's not with George Miller as God.
It's fair.
I feel like he only ever does one big 9-minute trailer. I'm kind of getting closer to Bussy on this. I don't know if we see it.
Because also, like, this game's not coming out until next year. I don't think later next year. You have so many more chances to show this game off. I think
Look at Troy.
Summer Game Fest would be a random place for it to pop up. I feel like Jeff is like, nah, let's save this for Game Awards. We'll make this our one more thing.
That's not bad.
You guys are convincing me. I thought it was a for sure, but you're making good points here.
I'm going to
Yeah.
stick with it. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
But I think Kojima shows up in some capacity.
Oh, yeah.
Just
I think
to-
he announces
be
a new
there?
podcast
Yeah, he's going to talk about it.
or another season of his podcast.
Well, yeah, let's talk about this. Is Kojima there? What does he do?
I think he's just chit-chatting. I think we've seen that before.
Cracks a beer on stage.
I think we've seen it in the past. I think we've seen Kojima just like, Jeff loves chatting it up with old Kojima. So, yeah, I think he pops up in some capacity. I don't think he shows off a new trailer, but he just says, yeah, we're stoked about this new thing. And, you've also got, what's the other project for PlayStation, the stealth action game? I think there's just mentions to things that he's working on and excitement for games or whatever, and that's about it.
I don't think we see him unless there's some announcement.
It's
it
like
might
a
be a
video call
Spotify
or some
podcast.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's not involved with this unless there is like something new.
Because
Like,
even like the year that you're thinking about, Andy, where it was just like the kind of video call, and he's like, I'm rethinking how I'm telling stories. Like they still had like Death Stranding DLC to announce.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You
Look at this little cute baby. It's hard to make a baby cute in video games. They nailed it right
Yeah.
there.
and then there's the overdose, right?
Yeah,
OD.
Yeah.
That's the Xbox one?
yeah.
Yes.
So